ones, empaths. The narcissist isn't going to tell you that they regret losing you. Some of them do, right? But I think personally, these are lesser and mid-range narcissists. A lot of these higher narcissists that you've been dealing with out there don't succumb to telling you that they regret losing you. They don't come with a pity plea. They don't beg for you back. They're very stubborn, right? So this is what I'm saying. A lot of you are under the false impression that the narcissist doesn't care. I see it in the comment section so frequently that, oh, the narcissist hasn't reached out with the Hoover. Narcissists can leave it years before they make contact, right? You got to understand, right? These narcissists lie, right? They masquerade with artificial light. They pretended the whole time in the relationship, right? They pretended, okay? So when a narcissist is going through a problem or an issue, they don't bring it to people's attention. When a narcissist is suffering, they won't bring it to your attention, right? You see? Narcissists like to hide their feelings. They mask their feelings, right? So you have to understand that if you haven't received the Hoover yet, or the narcissist hasn't told you they regret, that doesn't mean they're not regretting. Everything comes down to you knowing your value and what you did, right? If you know that you've done your best by an individual, right? If you know you've done your best, you're not perfect, but you've done your best by your potential at that current time, right? Then they're not going to replace you. You see, if you gave that love, that care, the empathy, the support, you helped build them up, you were there for them, right? If you know you gave your best version of yourself, you don't have nothing to worry about, right? A lot of you stay victim to the devaluation that the narcissist does during the ending of the relationship, where the narcissist makes out you're nothing, where the narcissist makes out they don't want you, where the narcissist makes out they can do better. Many of you fall victim to the game of the narcissist with the new supply. That is a classic triangulation tactic when they go with the new supply, right? You have to understand this, because it's easy for you to comment. I know some of you don't, not all of you do, but some of you understand what I'm saying. But it's easy for you to comment and say, oh, the narcissist doesn't care. Like, that's not helping you. You're not breaking it down to the core of what it really is going on. You're not breaking it down to the core, the essence of what's really happening, right? Narcissists don't know what they want from one day to the next, right? So this is what caused them to see a new supply. They suffer with the shiny object syndrome. They see something glistening. They get over there. You know, they think there's something better out there for them, right? They don't know what they want, right? They get out there and they realize that it doesn't work out how they planned it. And this is why they go through the self-absorbed regret. It's self-absorbed regret. It's preoccupied feelings of oneself. They're concerned about their self, their own feelings, right? They're miserable because of how their feelings are making them feel in these moments when they're with the new supply. They're not, they're not regretting the harm, the abuse they inflicted on you, right? They're feeling sorry for themselves about their current state, right? They might dwell on, they could have done this differently. They could have manipulated you more. They could have left you with some breadcrumbs. They could have done this. They could have hoovered sooner. They'll go through these things in their mind, you know. They'll go through these things in their mind. Maybe they shouldn't have left it in such a bad way, because then that would have given them an open door back into your life. This is the sort of regret they'll be going through in their minds, right? But they honestly can't handle life without the chosen one and the empath in it. Right? There's so many self-proclaimed narcissists that make content and say things like, I'm not going to mention no names, but they say things like, oh, supply is just supply. If supply was just supply, why is it that narcissists prey on empaths? They prey on empaths. Two narcissists don't get along. Toxic individuals and narcissists don't get along. Psychopaths and narcissists don't get along. They need someone with the potent energy that you possess. They need someone like that, right? They have to have someone like that. To stay informed on topics like these, subscribe to the channel. If you want to shed some light on a personal situation, book a one-to-one session. I do all countries and time zones. Join the Empath group meeting coming up. Links for all I've mentioned in the description box below. See, the problem that many of you face is you take the narcissist going on with a new supply, making you feel less than. You know, you take the words that they said in the last engagements that you had with them, and you take it wholeheartedly. You know, you've got to take things with a whole bucket of salt with narcissists, right? They don't know what they want. They're unsatisfiable creatures. That's why you gave them the best that they could possibly get, and still they wasn't happy enough. And you have to understand what happens when you take something away, when something's gone, when they lose something. How they feel about that. They're all about ownership and control. If you are out of their lives, they don't have control over you. They can't draw you back in. They can't bait you. You know, this makes them have an absence that can't be filled, right? Because they've lost you, the chosen one, and the empath. And they struggle in life. They really struggle in life to cope with this loss, you know? They honestly struggle to cope with this loss in life. They'll do things further down the line. You know, they'll create smear campaigns. They'll do things about you. They'll play the victim role, you know, with their new supplies. They'll play the victim role and make out that you as the abuser, you as the toxic one. They'll keep your name alive, you know. They'll keep your name alive wherever they go, you know. So, you know, they don't get over you. It all comes down to you knowing your value. And I understand that many of you are in a place of hurt. Many of you have been put through devaluation. Many of you have been put through hardship, right? I understand that. I get that. But I'm trying to help you see beneath the veil of what is really going on. When they go from you to another supply and they meet someone toxic, or they meet someone inauthentic, or they meet someone that's not on the same page, they meet someone that's deviant, they meet someone like that, they're not going to get the same energy supply that they got from you. They're not going to get that kind of love. They're not going to get that kind of care. They're not going to get that kind of support, right? But narcissists are stubborn. Narcissists are stubborn. They're miserable. They will live with this misery. And they will have some company around them because misery loves company. That's basically what's happening with them and the new supply. They'll have a new supply around them. So what? It's a new supply. Do you know how many narcissists you could go out there and get if you wanted to? Do you know how many narcissists you could go out on the street or on dating apps and find if you wanted to? If this just comes down with being in a relationship with someone and that makes everything okay, you know, you can go and find another narcissist. You know? Easy. It's not hard. You could get one by tonight. You could get another narcissist by tonight. The whole point is you're looking for something real. So it's going to take a little bit longer. It's going to take a bit more effort. They just monkey branch to the nearest low-hanging fruit and jump on that low-hanging fruit and try to glorify this shit. That's what they do. And many of you fall victim to believing this false narrative they're trying to spread, right? They post the new supply on their social media. They parade past your house with the new supply. They flaunt it in your face. It's all a game to them. It's triangulation at its finest. You can't fall victim to triangulation. You have to know your value, what you did. You have to know in your mind, like if you think someone else is going to come along and do what you did and more, then you're never going to understand what I'm trying to say. If you think there's someone else out there in the world, right, that could do better than you done for that narcissist, then that's the whole issue. So you think that someone else out there can do better than you for the narcissist. That's the whole issue, right? If you really think that, then that's what you need to resolve. That's what you need to focus on, right? It all comes down to you knowing your value. It's not narcissistic. It's knowing that other people are not going to love them in the same way you did. It's knowing that it's knowing that no one's going to care for them the way you did. No one's going to support them the way you did. No one's going to be open and honest. This channel's for empaths and chosen ones, right? If you're an empath and chosen one, they're not going to find another empath and chosen one again in their whole entire lives. It's a rarity that they even come across you. Yes, you was asleep at the time. Yes, you was unawakened at the time. But it's a rarity that they're going to find another you. It's rare. The world is filled with toxicity. They can find toxic people. They can find other narcissists. They can find other psychopaths, other sociopaths. They can find these types of creatures. But I'm telling you that the narcissist is struggling in their daily living without having you in it. And they try and plaster over the cracks. That's what they try to do. They plaster over the cracks. They'll go and get married. They'll go and have children. They'll go and do these things to plaster over the cracks, to try and hide what they're really feeling inside themselves, right? They know they made a mess of the relationship. And this is why they are a mess. They know they didn't handle it in the best way they possibly could, with the highest form of manipulation or the highest form of deviancy. They suffer with if, but, shoulds, coulds, and woulds. You know, if they done this, should they have done that? Could they have done that? That's what they suffer with. That's their mindset. They don't trust the divine plan, the unfolding of the divine plan. They don't trust that. If they done this to you, if they done that, should they have done that? Could they have done that? That's what will be going through in their minds. They wanted to keep you bound, right? None of you should be waiting on a Hoover from the narcissist. Forget about the narcissist Hoover. You know, when the Hoover comes, you're going to be so grown and elevated that you're going to be disgusted by the Hoover. That's how it occurs, right? When the Hoover comes, you're going to be so disgusted by it and so past them. You know, you're not going to pay it no mind. Some of you won't even respond. You know, some of you will just tell them to go away. You know, and remember that the Hoover is not a declaration of love. Like I said in the earlier segment, it's not, oh, I want you back. You were the best thing I ever had. Like, narcissists don't tell the truth. Why? They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to elevate you and make you feel good about yourself. Narcissists like to break you down and make you feel like nothing. They're not going to actually tell you what's really happening. They like smoke and mirrors. They like deviancy. They like lies. They like fabrication. They like manipulation. They're not actually going to tell you, oh, so-and-so, you were the best thing I ever had. They're not going to tell you that. You need to know this in yourself. You need to know your value. And understand that wherever this narcissist is going, they're suffering with this self-absorbed regret day in and day out. They are suffering with this self-absorbed regret that grates on them. These new supplies don't equate. If you are under the impression that someone you have to understand the complexity of it as well. They become accustomed to you, the way that you treated them. Remember, it's a supply source. They become accustomed to the way you treated them. They can't replace that. You're irreplaceable. There's only one you. They've become codependent and dependent upon a supply source that they can no longer get. They try to turn other supplies into you. They try to make other supplies do things that you used to do. They try and tame and train new suppliers to act like you and behave like you. They try and make new suppliers dress like you or look like you. They can't do it. You are unique. You have to understand what individuality and uniqueness comes down to. That's what it all comes down to. And knowing your value, that there's never going to be another you. There never has been another you. And there never will be another you for as long as time goes on this earth. There's just never going to be another you. So they become dependent upon your supply source. They enjoyed your supply source. They knew your supply source was potent. And now they're out in the world and they can't find a supply source that equates to your supply source. Right? If you think that them finding someone new that they just, think how quick they go into a relationship. Think how quick they go into and they transition into these relationships. If life's that easy, why is there so much divorce? Why is there so much separation? Why is there so much this? Because people can't just find good people that easily. Right? You can't just find, like, they don't just go from good person to good person to good person to good person to good person. Like, they haven't got an ability to be able to do that. If anything, after them being with you, it makes them more naive. That's what happens. When they're treated so well from you, they get to a place in their minds where they think they can get this respect and decency from anyone. That's what actually happens to the narcissist. They think they can get this type of treatment from wherever they go. And it's only when they go and they get out there, they realize they can't. Right? But that's what gives them that false sense of security, is the way that you treated them, is the way that you was loyal, is the way that you was loving, is the way that you was empathetic. It gave them a false sense of security that they can find this wherever they go. This is what they believed. When they get out there, they don't find it. And this is why they're filled with self-absorbed regret. They're feeling sorry for themselves because they ruined something that was special. They ruined something that made them feel alive. They ruined something that made them feel great. They ruined that with you. They know they have. How can they possibly, they know if they come and tell you, you're the best thing I ever had, I'm sorry, you're going to most likely reject them. The power dynamic shift. They know that you're most likely going to reject them because of the hurt they put you through. They're not going to put themselves in a vulnerable position like that. So you just have to have a knowing. When you go through this life, when you're going through the healing journey, you just have to have a knowing that this narcissist is suffering. You just have to know in your heart, mind, and soul. You don't need no validation from the narcissist. You don't need no Hoover. You just need to know your value and know that they are suffering. You need to know that someone isn't just going to come along and do better than what you did. They're not going to find it. They've become dependent upon the supply source that you offered, and it's irreplaceable. They will never find it ever again. You're unique, right? Even in non-narcissistic relationships, people break up and they think about their former partner and they miss their former partner. This happens in non-narcissistic relationships, and narcissists are not exempt from going through this process, right? There's too much information that goes around that's saying the narcissist doesn't care, and that is because people are too involved in their feelings and they get so offended when they see the narcissist with a new supply. So they take it as the narcissist don't care. Narcissists are promiscuous. Narcissists will engage in sexual intercourse. Narcissists will engage in these types of behaviors with anyone and anyone. This is what they'll do. They'll engage in that. But that doesn't mean they're getting the supply source that you offered just because they've hooked up with someone. They're loose. They're loose. You're going to carefully select appropriately. You're going to choose someone carefully. They don't do that. And they, like I said, they come under a false impression and a false sense of security that they could find what they have with you wherever they go. And they got out there and they realized the grass isn't greener, and they realized that that shiny object that they saw isn't so shiny, and it's just a broken piece of glass, you know? And you're a precious stone or a diamond or a ruby or a jewel, you know? And they know that now, you know? And that's why they can't handle life without you. So wherever they go, you're on their minds. They can't handle life without you, and they're a self-absorbed, regretful mess. So anyway, enhance your experience. Get access to exclusive unseen videos and personal video requests. There's a 3-day free trial and can be cancelled at any time by going to your account page. Thanks for listening today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. If you want to donate, you don't have to, but if you'd like to support the channel, you can. Links in the description box below. For more narcissism-based content, check out our other channel. Links in the description box. Please visit the forums. One of them is Tips to Heal, and I'd love to find out what helps you on your journey. Please book a healing session with me if you need advice or some light shed on your situation. The Empath Monthly group meeting is coming up at the end of the month. Limited space is available. There's a WhatsApp group for survivors to stay in touch. I'm also doing email consultations if you need a plan of action. The links for all I've mentioned are in the description box below. If you know more about the narcissist cut you off but it's driving them insane because you're the one who got away, click this video here. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.